going on, guys? This is Bruce Matson, your host of the show, Metric Scout Fantasy Football. The show that looks at all things fantasy from redraft to Devy, Dynasty, DFS, all of it. Something you're into, something you want to learn about, something you want to get better at. I'm your guy. Hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, turn on them notifications, and tell your homies. This episode, as you can tell by the thumbnail, I'm going to be talking about the marriage, the relationship between Jaylen Waddle and Tua Tagovailoa, and how that could benefit us in fantasy football, how people are sleeping on this a little bit, and I'm going all in on the finer nuances of this, so something you want to stick around for. But Jaylen Waddle, man, if you don't remember the pre-draft hype, the dust is settling, things are slowing down. If you don't remember, this guy is fast and smooth. And not only that, he's gangster at the catch point. This guy just jumps up and gets it. He's fierce. And he's fierce for a 5'9", 180-pound wide receiver. He just does it. He does not care. He'll literally take hits in the ribs, get smashed. He'll get up before the guy that hit him and then be talking shit right to his face instantly. I love the dog in him. He plays with a lot of tenacity. Jaylen Waddle is very underrated in that aspect. If the ball's in the air and there's somebody there to compete with, he's going to do whatever he can to win. Another thing that is dangerous about his game is he is nasty after the catch. That explosiveness, that speed, that allows him just to scoot on past the defense. And another thing is his ability to move laterally and cover a lot of room and space. He can put DBs on skates and make them look like Christopher Reeves. He makes them look that bad. It is crazy how quick this guy is, how quick he can get in and out of his breaks, and how explosive he is downfield. And then you add that to his tenacity, his ability to leap up, catch the ball, he has sticky hands, and you got a player that has the potential to be a star at the NFL level. And did I mention he's a good kick returner? That's something that's just going to help him get more established as a rookie this year. And that just makes him a 5-tool player for a wide receiver. Just being able to do special teams, being able to run good routes, being able to lift the top off the defense consistently. He's always going to be in the back of the defense's mind. Whether he's the wide receiver, 1, 2, 3, he's always going to be in the back of the defense's mind. The thing is, he's now paired with Tua, his former quarterback at Alabama. And honestly, he had his best seasons with Tua. In 2018, his freshman season, he had 148 yards off 45 catches and 7 touchdowns. That was his best season, and that was with Tua under center. He was balling out, and he produced early in his career. It was just 17.47% share of the passing offense, but he was second on the team in receiving behind Jerry Jeudy. That was above Devonta Smith, Henry Ruggs, and that was an offense that was just loaded with first-round talent all over the board, from running back to wide receiver. You even had a second-round tight end with Irv Smith. And he was able to be second in receiving yardage, which is really good. Last year, he had over 100 yards in each game that he played in, not counting the game against Ohio State because he was hurting. He was hobbling around the field. If anything, that's a plus because this guy will fight through injury. This guy has that dog, that spirit in him to play through pain. So these little knick-knack injuries are not going to affect him. If he's hurt, he's hurt. If he's hurt, he's out. If he's legit hurt, he's out. If he's got bumps and bruises, he's going to play through it. That's something I like to see in players. But every game he was healthy in, had 100 yards or more and blew it up. He was on pace to win the Heisman himself. He was blowing up every single game. There was not a game this season where he did not have any magical highlights, where he was just plucking the ball out of the air, running past the defense, and just being a phenom. He averaged 4.38 yards per route run. That is a number you do not see hardly at all with wide receivers. That's how efficient he was with every route. He averaged 10.1 yards after the catch per reception, and then had 11.7 average at the target. If you took away the screen passes, that would have been massive high. But when you have that kind of speed that allows you just to zip by people, defenses, whatever's in front of you. Super easy. They're going to try and get you the ball in space however they can, so you are going to get some of those shorter passes. I expect to see that in Miami. I expect to see that wherever he's at, because just the type of player he is. So explosive and so fast. I'm going to say that so much in this video that's the main focus of him, though. He's so fast, so explosive. A lot of people compare him to like Tyreek Hill, Steve Smith, and you know what? I kind of say he's like on that archetype of Tyreek Hill because of the deep speed, the ball skills, the tenacious play. But after rewatching him today, I see a little more Steve Smith in him, and that Tyreek Hill burst in long speed. And where I see that Steve Smith in him is that grit at the catch point, is that dog mentality. And that's what I see in Jaylen Waddle's game. The more I watch him, this like last time watching his college film, which may not be my last time, I'm not gonna lie, but this time watching his college film, that just stood out to me. Like, this guy is a baller. He's a gamer. He is going to do what he can at all costs to win on the field, just like Steve Smith. There's no exact one-for-one comparisons. There's nobody like Jaylen Waddle. There's no one like Tyreek Hill. These guys are different players, but they have some similar traits, and it's speed and burst. Tenacity, it's Steve Smith and him. It's a Franken comp. And then being paired with Tua, you got to remember, Tua, coming out for the draft last year, was considered the best quarterback by many. I had him above Burrow. A lot of people did. And mainly because before the hip injury, he was. He was more accurate, faster decision maker, and was considered one of the best college quarterbacks of all time during his tenure. If he did not go down with that injury, we would be reflecting more about his collegiate career, about how great he was. But since that hip injury was so dreadful, he had some other injuries, I think an ankle injury too, that cropped up during his final year of Alabama. Those injuries is what people remembered most, which was very unfortunate. He had a very good career. He has very good tape from them. He processes the field quickly. He can move from one read to the next very quickly, has a quick release, and is very smooth with his mechanics, and he's very quick at getting the ball out. If I had to compare him to any quarterback, I would compare him to like a more mobile Drew Brees. Just the ability to click, go from one read to the other, see the windows, and get the ball downfield. It's very reminiscent of them when you compare his college tape to what you saw from Drew Brees. He's just more mobile. He's more fluid in the pocket. He's not a Konami Code type of quarterback. He's not going to straight rush. He will get you some yards on the ground, but he'll stand in that pocket, move around a bit, and sling it downfield. He can read from one wide receiver to the next and have good anticipation of where they're going to be. That's what I like about his game. A lot of people are down from Tua from his rookie campaign, but you have to remember, he was coming back from a devastating injury, that hip injury. That injury was going into the draft, had people thinking that he wasn't even going to play during his rookie year. That was a devastating injury. We didn't even know if he was going to walk again for a while. And then we got the reports that he was going to be ready for camp, that he was going to be able to play. And then he was able to play. And then prior to that, COVID happened. So we did not get the regular like OTAs, the regular preseason, the regular old setup that the normal rookie quarterback would go through. So he's already a step behind with the hip. He's already a step behind with COVID. And then he's on the Dolphins. And the team really, really wants to get him in. But they're winning games. And Ryan Fitzpatrick's doing all right. He's doing a good job. He's slinging the rock. And he's keeping them in there. But they really want to get their rookie in. They get him in. And he's doing good. He's doing all right. He's not an all-star. He's not prolific. That's probably what hurt him most. Was the standards was so high due to his high draft capital that people thought they were going to get all-star caliber talent off the rip instead of being patient with him. He got pulled in and out of the lineup because the team was in it on some games. They finished the season 10-6. It wasn't like they were Jags in the season. They weren't. It was a good team, and they had to do what they could do to stay in the hunt. And he also had some injuries. He had a thumb issue, and the team really just wanted to keep him upright. they knew that they weren't going to win the Super Bowl, and they really just wanted to have him healthy going into his second year. Also, he's coming off that hip injury, and you have Ryan Fitzpatrick there. There's just a lot going on during that rookie season. He was playing a lot towards the end, and it wasn't that bad when you look at the game logs, when you look at the stats. It wasn't horrible. It's what you would expect from a rookie. It's some ups and some downs. That's what you get from talented rookies. You don't get rookie quarterbacks just come in and light up the field year one. You're going to have some growing pains, and that's what we saw here. You got to think his first few games was pretty much his preseason. He did not have a preseason this year. We did not have that due to COVID. We started a little late, and that was his preseason starting off. Not every quarterback's going to light it up on the first few snaps, their first few games. He's got a little bit of developmental period. We've gotten some news lately that he feels more comfortable in the offense, that he's feeling more ready to go. He's feeling more himself. And that is a good indicator that he's taking a step forwards in his development. You also got to understand last year, he did not have the right pieces around him. The offensive line wasn't great. The wide receiver core wasn't that great either. There were some weeks where Myles Gaskin was the leading receiver. I think Lynn Bowden was the leading receiver one week. It was kind of a mismatch of stuff you don't want in the receiving game. The offensive line wasn't completely there as well. Then the team adds Will Fuller in the offseason, drafts Jaylen Waddle. You see them trying to get pieces in place. When I look at this, when I look at what they're adding here, they're trying to add speed. They're trying to get the ball downfield. Will Fuller, 4.3 guy. Jaylen Waddle, we do not have speed metrics from the Combine Pro Day, but we know he's fast. We know he's a 4.3 guy easy. We know he can get downfield. They're trying to play full court basketball. Lynn Bowden's another speed guy. And then they got size on the perimeter with Devontae Parker and then Preston Williams. Jaylen Waddle's going to be on the field early in his career. He is made to win on this depth chart. Will Fuller, Devontae Parker is his main competition for targets, and he should easily be the wide receiver 3 and could possibly be the wide receiver 2, wide receiver 1 by the end of the year. He has that type of talent, and he already has a rapport with Tua. These guys have been playing with each other for a long time. They know each other. They'll probably put in extra work with each other, and if anything, this makes Tua more ready and help his transition to develop into a better quarterback. And this will help Jaylen Waddle too, because he's got a quarterback that knows where he's going to be. He has good timing with him, has a good rapport. And this is just a match made in heaven, because Tua is a high-end quarterback prospect. Jaylen Waddle is a high-end wide receiver prospect, and you got them meshed together. And Tua's got 1 year under his belt where he's got some experience in the offense. Jaylen Waddle is playing wide receiver, running routes, going to be the deep threat, going to be expected to get some balls in space. Tua's going to be able to work with that, and he knows how to work with that. So I like that. The thing that has me worried about the offense, probably in the short term, because things change, and as they get more pieces, they'll probably do better, is just how fast this offense works, the pace of their offense. They average 27.2 seconds between offensive plays. Bottom third in the league. 66 plays per game. Probably about middle of the league. And then they had a 58% pass rate, which is about 50th percentile compared to all the teams in the league. They do not have a fast-paced offense, or at least they didn't last year. Things can change due to game scripts. Things could change due to just different pieces in the offense. So as this team builds, I expect them to get faster, especially since they're showing us that they want to build this team. They had Will Fuller and Jaylen Waddle. Another thing that I could see help Jaylen Waddle, and it's unfortunate, it's Will Fuller's injury history. He's been injured most of his career. A lot of injuries throughout the entirety of his career. A bunch of leg issues. Odds are that's going to crop up. Probably this year, probably next year. Speaking of next year, Will Fuller signed with the team through this season. He'll be a free agent next year. More than likely, since they have Waddle, they're not going to need another speed guy like that. So it's probably going to be Waddle, Parker, and whoever else they bring in. So that's just more opportunities for Waddle. But if something happens to Fuller this year, which I'm not projecting, I don't project injuries, but it is a likely scenario due to his history. In that event, Waddle could see a step up in snaps, targets, and whatever else that allow him to be more productive. I like Tua a lot. He is one of my favorite quarterback prospects to come out. I feel like he's going to take a step forward this year, and even more as the weeks, the months go on. He's a good player. He's in a good situation. You can tell the organization wants to build around him. That's what they're doing. That's another good sign. They have plenty of draft picks, capital to help him out. This team's only going to get better. And the fact that the Dolphins are good at making trades, moving around the draft board, acquiring capital is another good sign for Tua, because they're going to continue to build this team. They're building this team the right way. They punted a while ago, and now they're using their assets to string along a team that's built around Tua's skill set. So I'm excited to see how this team is going to improve going forward. But I think Tua is going to be good for fantasy. Eventually, may not be 2021. It may be off and on in 2021, but I do see him improving upon his rookie season. But I expect him to get better as his career progresses. And I think Jaylen Waddle, a lot of people are not talking about him. If there's a player that comes out of nowhere, kinda, and impresses us or becomes more productive than what we expect, it's probably Jaylen Waddle. Due to his big playability, his connection with Tua, the team is getting better fast, and there's just a lot of good pieces on this Dolphins offense that is progressing in the right direction, and Waddle could be a main focus in this offensive game plan for a long time to come. I want to thank you for watching the show, watching me ramble on about Tua and Jaylen Waddle. I must have kept you entertained enough, so you might as well hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, get them notifications, tell your homies. I'll catch you next time. Peace.